my name is Kylie Louise McCormick, and I am a member of the Oregon-California Trails Association, and I am currently standing in this depression that was the original foundation of the 1 Mile Hog Ranch. I recently learned where hog ranches in Wyoming got their name from. It is a term that we use to talk about brothels or saloons, and they got their term because the women were not allowed to stay on military posts unless they were married to soldiers or if they were working with the military doing a service like laundry. So the women who were coming around following these soldiers would stay out at hog ranches that were usually close by forts in order to supply the meat for the fort. So these brothels, they get the term hog ranch after these women that would follow the soldiers and stay out on actual hog ranches. This depression, it was not a real hog ranch. It was a brothel built in 1880 by Harrison Kane in order to serve the soldiers in Fort Fetterman, stationed just a mile from here, across the North Platte River. That the soldiers, all they had to do was cross that river, head up here, and then they could get a gambling game going and maybe meet some women and definitely do a lot of drinking. The story goes that every time they finished a bottle, they threw it out back, and that is an accurate story because this hillside is covered in all kinds of old glass, brown and yellow and blue and clear and porcelain, all kinds of glass tossed out of this building. Harrison Kane, he sold his business when Fort Fetterman was decommissioned in 1882 to a John Lawrence and a Jack Saunders. Now, those two gentlemen, they kept it here for about 2 years before they moved the business into the old abandoned buildings at Fort Fetterman. When they did that in 1884, John Lawrence, he sold his section of the business to a man named Billy Bacon. So Billy Bacon became the new proprietor of the Hog Ranch along with Jack Saunders. Now, these were some rough and tumble men. Hog Ranch did not have a great reputation around Wyoming, that this is a place where there were shootouts, there's outlaws. The ranchers are definitely coming in and enjoying their whiskey, but not with the best elements in the area. Billy Bacon, he had headed out of town for a little while, and while he was gone, Jack Saunders was running his mouth. He was saying how he was the big man in charge, and if he asked Billy to jump, he'd say, "How high?" So when Billy came back into town, he started to hear these stories going around, how Jack was running his mouth, and he came, guns a-blazing, into the saloon to confront his business partner. A scuffle ensued between the two men. Jack Saunders' wife hopped onto Billy Bacon's arm, trying to grab the gun and wrestle it away from him. Showing just how much Jack cared about his wife, he got a shot off and shot Billy in the gut. Billy, at that time, he got control of his gun and shot Jack Saunders dead. A few days later, Billy succumbed to his wounds, also dying, and the newspapers around Wyoming celebrated the deaths of these two men. That was definitely the sentiment, that good riddance, thank goodness these two men are gone, now let's clean up this area. And that's when the state of Wyoming goes into Fort Fetterman and gets rid of that 1 Mile Hog Ranch.